Today is such a Tickled Tuesday. There are going to be so many numbers on your page. You're going to do a number web, you're going to read and solve, do addition and subtraction, and at the end, we're going to look at those vocabulary words, divisor, dividend, and quotient. So here I put underneath, there could be many answers. These are just some answers that I put of just a web of this number. This number is 7,632,423. Pretty big number. So here I just put all the different parts of this number, but there's so many more. It's just the parts that I came up with. I went all the way around. So I put that there were 600,000. I wrote that in standard form. 30,000, as you can see there in standard form. 2,000, standard form. Here I put 632 thousands. So all together, if I just wanted to look at this period, we call it periods and numbers. So each comma is a period. This group, like the 7, this group, and that group. So here's 632 thousands. Here we have 4 hundreds, which you can see there. 3 ones, 2 tens, 23 ones. So I could make this 23 ones. We know we break it into 20 and 3, but if I wanted to make that all ones, I could. Here I have 600,000, which could also be written this way. I have it written that way here, but I put it here so that you can see that the 600,000 is the same as that 600,000. 7 million, written that way, and we could put 32,000, written that way. But there are many answers you could come up with here. I wonder what things you all came up with. Once you get the hang of a number web, you'll see that there are actually no wrong answers. As long as you break the number down into the different parts and into the different values, you can use it. So here we're just going to read and solve. A lot of numbers here. Jonathan and Perla went to the movies. Jonathan bought popcorn for $4.25 and a soda for $2.15. Perla bought peanut M&Ms for $3.10 and apple juice for $2.23. How much money did Jonathan and Perla spend at the movie theater? So I labeled here that these are Jonathan's amounts for his soda and his popcorn. The soda and the popcorn. And I labeled here that these are Perla's amounts for her peanut M&Ms and her juice. So I added Perla's money and it came to $5.33. And then I added Jonathan's money, which came to $6.40. And here, I'm adding them together because it said how much money did Jonathan and Perla spend at the movie theater. So if they just asked for Perla, it would be this number. If they just asked for Jonathan, it would be this number. But this question is asking how much did both of them spend. So here, I added it together and I got $11.73. But I couldn't just leave it at that because I have to answer the question. So down here I wrote the answer. Jonathan and Perla spent $11.75. Oh, it should have been 73 cents. See, that happens sometimes. You have the right answer in one place, and then another place you put the wrong answer. So 73 cents at the movie theater. It's always good to go back and reread and check over all of your work, especially when you're doing any type of math. So here I am solving multiple digits. So I have 604 and I'm subtracting 62 and I'm also subtracting 36. So here I have my 604, subtract 62, I had 542. But now I'm subtracting the next number, which is 36. and I end up with 506. Now to check this, it's a little different because I have to add twice to check it. So I want this number 604. My answer was 506. I'm going to add that to the 36, which I got 542. And I'm also going to add that number to the 62, where I ended up with 604. I ended up with the number I'm looking for here in the beginning. Here I have another subtraction problem. I have 926 minus 323. Very simple because I didn't have to regroup at all. 6 minus 3 was simple. 2 minus 2 was simple. And 9 minus 3 was simple. So I got my 603. But I could still check it. 603 plus the 323, and I did get 926. Excellent work there. And now I'm looking again at divisor, dividend, and quotient. So by now, hopefully we remember what number is the divisor, which number is the dividend, and what's the quotient. So on this side, we actually had to do a little bit of multiplication here. So we had 42 as the quotient. Here we have the divisor is 7. So I know that my quotient and my divisor are going to be multiplied to give me my dividend. So over here I multiplied 42 times 7 and ended up with 294. Excellent work today. I told you there would be a lot of numbers.